Most style advice is built around trends. What is current this season? What younger men are wearing? What the magazines say is in, and what they say is out. And for a man over 60 who has been ignoring fashion trends for decades, correctly as it turns out, most of this advice is entirely irrelevant. Not because style does not matter after 60, but because the kind of style that matters after 60 has very little to do with what is currently fashionable. There is a different category of style guidance, not trends, not seasons, not what is in and what is out. Rules, principles that do not change from year to year, from decade to decade, from one generation of fashion to the next. Principles that were true for well-dressed men 40 years ago and will be true 40 years from now. And for a man over 60 who wants to look sharp, considered and authoritative without overcomplicating things, these rules are the only ones that matter. There are 5 of them. Each one is simple enough to state in a single sentence. Each one, applied consistently, eliminates a category of daily indecision about how to dress. And each one, when violated, even once, even by accident, creates the specific kind of impression that undermines everything a well-dressed man over 60 is working to project. This channel is about classic menswear, timeless style, and the practical principles that help men over 60 look their best without effort or overcomplication. Today we are going into the 5 rules that never change, the ones that are worth learning once and applying for the rest of a man's life. The first rule is the one that governs every other decision in the wardrobe: fit before everything else, not color, not fabric, not brand, not price, fit. A well-fitted garment in modest material will always look better than an expensive garment in poor fit. This is not a preference, it is a visual fact. A garment that fits correctly creates a clean, intentional silhouette that makes the man wearing it look taller, leaner, more defined, and more put together than any garment in the wrong fit, regardless of quality. For men over 60, this rule becomes more important as the body changes with age. Weight shifts, proportions change. The suit that fit perfectly at 40 may not fit correctly at 60. The trouser that felt comfortable 5 years ago may now have the wrong rise, the wrong seat, or a leg width that no longer suits the frame beneath it. Most men respond to these changes by going larger, more room, more comfort, more fabric. This is always the wrong response. Going larger erases the silhouette that a well-fitted garment is designed to create. The correct response is to resize, to retailor, to reassess fit with the body as it actually is right now, rather than as it was. There is a specific definition of correct fit that is worth stating clearly. At the shoulder, the seam should sit precisely at the edge of the shoulder, not dropping off it or pulled in from it. At the chest and body, the garment should follow the natural line of the torso, without excess fabric pulling or bunching at any point. At the sleeve, the length should end at the natural wrist break. And at the trouser, the seat should have enough room to move without excess fabric hanging below, and the leg should fall cleanly without pooling at the ankle. None of these require expensive tailoring. They require awareness of what correct actually looks like and the willingness to adjust when it does not. The practical application of this rule is simple. Every piece in the wardrobe should be tried on and evaluated against one question: does this follow the natural line of my body without excess fabric or tightness? If yes, it stays. If no, it goes to a tailor or goes out entirely. This assessment should happen at least once a year, not because the clothes change, but because the body does. The second rule governs color and creates the visual order that makes every outfit work without deliberate thought. Light above, dark below. A pale shirt or polo above the waist, a darker trouser or jean below. White or pale blue at the chest, navy or charcoal at the hip. This color arrangement is not arbitrary. It mirrors the natural light logic of the outdoor world, where the sky above is lighter than the earth below, and it creates the specific visual effect of lifting the upper body while grounding the lower. Applied consistently, it makes a man look taller, makes the face read more clearly, and creates a coherent, balanced silhouette without requiring any conscious color matching on any given morning. The violations of this rule are immediately visible once the rule is understood. A dark shirt with light trousers reverses the natural order and creates a heavy, top-weighted impression that visually compresses the man wearing it. A very dark combination from head to toe, black shirt, black trousers, eliminates the tonal variation that creates visual dimension and makes the man look flat and contracted. And a bright, saturated color at the shirt level, which functions as a visual weight regardless of its tone, creates the same face-obscuring effect as a dark color. The exception to this rule is the navy blazer, which can be worn over a white shirt regardless of the trouser color, because the blazer is a separate layer that adds visual structure rather than simply being a heavy dark garment at the top. The rule applies to the base layer, the piece directly closest to the body at shirt level. If you are finding this valuable, clear, practical principles that apply directly to how men over 60 dress, go ahead and subscribe. This channel exists to provide exactly this kind of specific, consistent guidance, and there is a great deal more to come. The third rule is the one that most men over 60 have never been explicitly told. The leather system must be internally consistent. Belt, shoes, and bag, when all three are present, must be in the same leather color family. Tan shoes with a tan belt, dark brown shoes with a dark brown belt. And if a leather bag is carried, it should coordinate with the same warm family the shoe and belt already establish. This rule creates the impression of complete intentionality at a level most observers cannot consciously identify. They simply sense that the man is put together, that his outfit has a coherence that goes beyond the individual pieces. What they are registering, without knowing it, is the leather system working as one coordinated whole. The violation is equally felt without being consciously named. A dark brown belt with tan shoes creates a low-level sense of inattention. A black belt with brown shoes suggests a man who got dressed in the dark. These mismatches are small enough that most people will not comment on them, but they register in photographs, in close interactions, and in the accumulated impression of a man who is almost but not quite fully considered. The fourth rule addresses one of the most consistent mistakes men over 60 make with their casual dressing: quality over quantity. Always. A small number of high-quality pieces will always produce a better result than a large number of mediocre ones. This is true for several reasons. Quality fabrics hold their shape longer, reducing the frequency with which pieces need to be replaced. Quality construction ensures that garments fit correctly from the first wearing and continue to fit correctly through the life of the piece. And quality materials, linen, cotton piqué, wool, suede, full-grain leather, have a surface richness that reads as expensive and considered at a glance, even to observers who cannot name the specific material. The specific way this rule manifests in practice is in the morning. A man with 15 excellent pieces and a man with 50 mediocre pieces face the same morning decision, what to wear, but with entirely different results. The man with 15 pieces reaches for any combination, knowing it will work, because every piece has been chosen at the same level of quality and coordinates with the others. The man with 50 pieces spends 10 minutes trying combinations, most of which feel slightly wrong, and often settles on something that is acceptable rather than excellent. This is the counterintuitive truth about quality over quantity. Fewer pieces makes getting dressed easier, not harder. The constraint is the feature. A wardrobe of 12 to 15 pieces, all excellent, all in the same color palette, all at the same quality level, will produce a better result every morning than a wardrobe 3 times larger with inconsistent quality. The practical implication of this rule is not that a man over 60 needs to spend more money. It is that he needs to spend it differently. Fewer pieces, each chosen more deliberately. A wardrobe of 15 pieces that are all excellent will serve a man better than a wardrobe of 50 pieces that are mostly mediocre. And reducing the wardrobe to its best components has an additional benefit. It eliminates the daily decision fatigue of choosing from too many options, most of which are slightly wrong. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 rules do you think is most relevant to where your style is right now? Which one would make the most immediate difference if you applied it this week? Tell me in the comments. I read every one and want to know exactly where men over 60 are starting from when they think about rules versus trends. The 5th rule is the most fundamental of all, and the one that is most often sacrificed in the name of comfort or convenience. Every outfit should be complete before leaving the house. Complete means that every element is present and every detail is correct. The collar is structured, the trouser length is right, the belt coordinates with the shoe, the shirt cuff is visible beneath the jacket sleeve, the pocket is flat, the shoe is maintained, nothing is missing, nothing is slightly wrong, nothing has been left as good enough. The reason this rule matters so much after 60 is that the overall impression of a man's appearance is not the average of its parts. It is limited by its weakest element. A well-fitted blazer, a good shirt, quality trousers and a polished shoe will create a strong impression. The same combination with a curled collar or a belt that does not match the shoe or a slightly too long trouser creates a weaker impression than the sum of its parts suggests it should. The single wrong detail pulls the entire impression downward in a way that is disproportionate to the size of the mistake. Completeness is a discipline. It requires a final check before leaving 30 seconds in front of a mirror, running through the elements: collar, cuff, trouser length, pocket, belt and shoe condition. 30 seconds that determine the impression the man makes for the entire day. This is not vanity. It is the consistent application of the standards that a well-dressed man over 60 has established for himself. Here are the 5 rules, stated simply. Fit before everything else, the body as it is now, not as it was, light above, dark below, every day without exception. Leather system coordinated, belt, shoe and bag in the same color family. Quality over quantity, fewer pieces, each chosen with more deliberation. And every outfit complete before leaving, no weak elements, no exceptions. These 5 rules require no wardrobe budget. They require no trend awareness. They require no fashion knowledge. They require only the consistent application of 5 principles that have been true for decades and will remain true for decades more. A man over 60 who internalizes these 5 rules and applies them consistently will look sharper every day than a man who ignores them and spends 10 times more money on clothes. So here is the challenge. Write down these 5 rules and put them somewhere you will see them in the morning, on your wardrobe door, on your bathroom mirror, wherever the morning routine takes you. Apply one rule deliberately for 1 week, just one. Notice what happens to the overall impression of the outfit. Then come back and tell me which rule you applied and what changed. If you found this useful, subscribe and share it. This is the kind of foundational guidance that most men have never been given directly. In the next video, we are going into the jacket mistakes that most men over 60 are making, the wrong styles, the wrong fits, and exactly which jackets to replace them with. You will not want to miss that one.